Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is MEM603 and I will present to you about our mini project is a case study of Gamuda Berhad. So the Gamuda Berhad is an engineering property infrastructure company based in Malaysia. This is one of the largest Malaysian infrastructure company and has undertaken various projects involving of locally and overseas project. The one of the major Gamuda Berhad project, which is involving of the smart tunnel, which is the length of 9.7 km of smart tunnel. The function of the smart tunnel is to assist water flood from the Sungai Klang and Sungai Ampang to the water storage pond. Next, for the facility for occupational safety and health, the facility to prevent hazard at the workplace is a legal need for all firms to offer safe working environment for their employee. This is done simply to reduce risk and save life and property by avoiding or preventing accident. The employer facility must adhere to OSHA 1994 Act, which is the prioritized for safety and health. As we all know, Gamuda Berhad is one of the construction company, but their headquarters is an office which is they provided a preventive equipment material such as fire extinguisher, which located on each block and each floors to prevent from the fire. And also they provided a smoke detector, which is the preventive equipment tools in order to avoid. As we all know, Gamuda Berhad is taken very seriously in order to ensure the safety workplace for all times. So Gamuda Berhad is a construction company that pays special attention for their worker safety. So the employer should be aware of the Workplace Health, Safety and Welfare Regulation 1992, which is included themes such as ventilation, heating, lighting, and workstation layout. Gamuda Berhad also emphasized the significance of a code of practice for worker safety. Safety equipment and personal protective equipment, which we all know as PPE, is worn by each of the workers in order to avoid any occupational injury and illness. In the case of Gamuda Berhad, the worker must wear the PPE to protect themselves in potential hazard environments such as building sites. This equipment that they need to be wear, which is, for example, the safety helmet, eye protection, safety harness, and safety footwear. So Gamuda Berhad, for the maintenance program, communication tools and safety checklists at workplace, there are two types of classification. The first type is maintenance, is called the routine or the preventive material, and it is frequently scheduled and necessary to keep things work well. And then the second type maintenance is called the corrective maintenance, and it is conducted only when anything breaks down or goes wrong. Okay, so for the Gamuda Berhad, these two aspects of maintenance are performed to prevent any major breakdown. Plan layout is needed in order to visualize the workplace activity and identify the location of machinery, equipment, and goods, and is also to display the flow of the material and personnel, as well as the location of the air duct, axle, stairway, alarm, and fire escape.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Baliam Muhammad. I will present the section B is about the hazards at the construction site, which is Gamuda Berhad. The hazard. So the hazard has potential to harm the human property and the environment at the construction site. What is the reason the hazards happen? Which is every construction sites have the hazard trait, but usually happen which is the management neglect or ignore the hazard precaution. Of hazard, which is he have give impact negative, which is a loss for the company and delay in construction schedule, and the loss of disability for the worker and injuries. We have DOSH, which is Department of Occupational Safety and Health, which is provided the guideline of the safety and health policies for the worker and company. We use fishbone diagram to identify the cause and the source of the reason about the hazards, and the hazard identification risk analysis form, which is HIRIC, to identify how to overcome the problem. The example of fishbone diagram, which is we use to analysis the reason and the impact of the hazard. The effect of a hazard we have identified at the construction site, which is falling from height, hearing loss, electric shock, and disability, first and injury. Hazard identification risk analysis, which is we have take the activity, the cause, and the hazard and the solution for this problem. Identify 5 hazard at construction site, which is sharp object during the operation, and of equipment or object fall from height, electric hazard, noise pollution, and working at height. Which is sharp object and cutting, which is when using the machine cutting, and the solution for this hazard, which is we suggest use personal protective equipment and check the condition of the tool, which is have the edge, and machine should be have a safety feeder. Thirdly is electrical hazard, which is we separate to the 3 type, which is power line, overload circuit, and operating electrical equipment. Which is firstly power line, we suggest to locate all the power line nearest the construction site, and secondly is about overload circuit, which is the technician must be verify the current or voltage come from the right circuit and it doesn't exceed the limitation. And thirdly is the operating equipment, electrical equipment. We suggest to worker wearing the enough standard PPE. Noise pollution, which is cause the hearing loss, and we suggest to wearing the PPE and ear muff, and the technician or supervisor must be identify the standard of the frequency of a noise at that area down from the height when they ignore or not enough the safety system at that construction site, which is we suggest to place the guard rail system, safety net system, and personal fall arrest system, which is prevent the worker from falling down from the height.
Okay, thank you, Balia. So I will continue with the case study. The first case study, it happened on October 2017. A fire explosion was reported at Bandar Malaysia by MRT, where one worker died and 2 others critical. The project under Gamuda state that the incident occurred while the employer was doing housekeeping, and it happened because of old exploded bomb from the Second World War. Okay, so I will continue our detailed case 2. A crane accident from high. It happened on 24 February 2016. Occurred at Kota Damansara. The worker used sky lift to install the ceiling, and suddenly the machine problem and hit the workers at the ground. Okay, so the preparation when happens, we should help the injured person and immediately call ambulance. Secondly, we provide them with safety aid kit, and lastly, clean the area accident. So the prevention that can be taken, the employers are encouraged to wear harness at high place, and lastly, the fall protection system must be in place work. Okay, the number 3, the case study is falling object happened on 15 March 2018, where a bin launcher was collapsed, which killed 1 worker, and it occurred at night. It happened because of too much load carried. So the precaution step that can be taken, firstly, we help the injured person or report to the supervisor. Secondly, we restrict the area and put the signage. So the prevention that can be made is firstly, the employer should provide training to the workers, and number 2, the work site must be always monitored by supervisor.
Thank you, Hafiz. Now we come out with a case study of 4.4, is focusing on fatal accidents. This case has happened on 27 February 2015 at Klang Valley MRT, Kuala Lumpur. In this case, they involve 2 workers from Bangladesh and have causes 1 death and 1 injuries. So the person that are responsible for the accident are work package contractor, WPC. So the detail of the case happened when there are 3 workers working on the rebarcage. There are 1 person on the inside the rebarcage and other 2 victims are at the outside of the rebarcage. This is happened when the wires that hold the load from the rebarcage has have snapped and fell into the two workers at the outside of the cage. Next, we come up with the action that can be taken from the workers to help the workers. They have to stop all the construction activity around the area of the accidents, have to move the injuries to worker to a safe area and get the help from a medical units. And then they have to report to the supervisor for the further action and restrict the workers from the area to prevent any further. The company should make further action to prevent this activity from happen in the future. So they should provide a guide or training the new workers, especially when they want to give the new workers with a new task. Always provide and make sure that the workers using a proper personal protective equipment. Next, we come up with case 4.5. That's focusing on sleep and fall accidents. Fall or sleep accident is the main accident that always happen in the construction site, and the main cause of the small accident basically come from the bad floor condition, wet floor, and the poor management of tools or equipments. Basically, a person will be fall into the pool or slip from the wet floor. They will be faced on the injuries at their face, their arm, their back, or worst case, they can break their arms. In this case, the action that can be taken from the workers that are involved into the accident is the nearest workers need to help the fall victim to stand up and move into the safe area. Make sure to call a help from a medical teams, report to the supervisor, fill the report form, make sure to clean up and overcome the causes of the accident to make sure that the case not repeat in the future. So the preventive action that company can take is they should provide training on the management, safety and health at the working area. Always do an safety inspection to reduce the cost hazards that causes to this accident, and always alert the workers to wear proper personal protective equipment (PPE). That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Muhammad Firdaus. I will be talking a little bit about the management and safety enforcement of Gamuda Berhad. So we came across to the first one, which is they established the safety and management system. They continually improve their safety and health performance by doing a thorough risk assessment and controls, as well as implementing the best practices and procedures. So this policy is evaluated regularly to ensure that the Gamuda's safety and health performance is continually improved and that it stays relevant to the company's commercial objectives. And Gamuda Berhad's safety and health management system is accredited to the local and international standards that will be renewed regularly to guarantee that the firm stays current with the industrial certifications. The next one is the hazard identification, assessment of risk and opportunity and controls. So all
الله أكبر الله
as soon as possible and try to get themselves out of the way from the situation, as they have no authorization or certification to correct those problems. Workers must also have a constant networking or conversation with their supervisors or any safety, health, and environment SHE officers to take steps in alleviating the problem before returning to work. To further protect the employees and workers on sites, all site operations must go through the hierarchy procedure before beginning any projects. After that, the Safety, Health, and Environmental Committee. So the function of the SHE committee is to oversee all of the hierarchy procedures are being followed thoroughly. And also, the SHE community team tries to implement any safety and health initiatives to track their own progress during the construction projects. So here are the five different channels that all construction workers at the SHE offices or communities contact through, which is the during the pre-task briefing or toolbox, the meeting of SHE committees at corporate and project levels, the participation of hierarchy during job safety analysis and methods, the meeting with top management, and also the throughout the investigation of the event. And the last one is the training and awareness. So the scheduled training is held to ensure that all parties have access to current and relevant knowledge to meet safety and health requirements. So SHE are designed to SHE programs, for example, are designed to ensure that all relevant parties such as clients, subcontractors, as well as the suppliers have a clear grasp of their roles and responsibilities in maintaining safety and health standards. To further protect the employees and workers on sites, all site operation must go through the hazard identification, risk and opportunity assessment, and also controls or the high rate procedure before beginning any projects. So that is all from me. Thank you very much.